Good morning, lovely people. It's me, Charles Francis from Ground Level Coaching, and welcome to another edition of Simple Monday Reflections. Today, I want to talk about what are we doing to nurture this inner side of us, to protect and look after this sacred space. The world as we know today is very much outward bound in that people want to look good. People want to buy fancy stuff or buy things. People want to achieve more so other people can acknowledge their achievements or acknowledge other people's achievements. But very much of that is really outward bound in that it's transparent for all to see. But what about the things that the eye doesn't see so obviously? What are we doing to nurture the inner self, that inner sacred space? That the eye doesn't see so obviously. And when I talk about the inner side, I'm talking about the mind primarily. What are you doing to protect and nurture the mind? How are you monitoring what goes in and what goes out of your mind? Jim Rohn refers to the mind as this magnificent mental factory. I mean, it can store all this information, unlimited information, and it processes it so fast. But depending on what you decide to focus on from that information, it's going to depend on, it's going to determine the quality of your life and how you live your life because of the information that you're deciding to focus on and the meanings that you're giving it. So how are you nurturing that side of yourself, the mind? Because you wouldn't buy a brand new Ferrari and then fill it up with the cheapest gasoline and expect it to perform at its optimum. It just wouldn't happen. And the same goes for your mind. You can't expect to pour all this rubbish into your mind and expect it to go to work for you at the best it can. Like I often say, you have to stand guard at the gates of your mind. You have to protect your mind. And that means guarding it from your own and other people's negative thoughts and actions. It means guarding it from pessimism. It means guarding it from arguments, from anger, from resentment, from blame. And also the diseases of attitude. Like I said, pessimism, doubt, indecision, complaining. All these things you've got to really be aware of and try and guard your mind from it. Can you protect and guard your mind all the time? Of course you can't. Your mind will go into certain things and you are going to think about things that are not going to be unresourceful for yourself. But can you guard it and create peace for it most of the time? Absolutely. If you're conscious about what's going on in your world, then you can. And that's what we're going to seek. Seek to try and silence that mind a little bit. Silence it from the chaos and the confusion that's going on around the world. I mean, we're exposed to negativity. There's negativity outside of this world, in this world. I mean, there's negativity all over the place. We're exposed to it daily. It comes in all different forms, from the news, from the social media, from people's attitudes, from your own attitude, from your own rationalization about the past, the present, the future. All these things can be negative. They can add a negative pull to your life. But equally, in that said, there's also a lot of positivity out in the world. There's so much positivity out there. It's just that, if we allow the negative to be, it's going to drown out the positive. And it will push the positive down, because the difference between the positive and negative is that one comes to you and the other you have to seek. The negativity that comes to us, like I said, we're exposed to it every day. From the minute you wake up, there's some form of negative, whether it's going to be someone's attitude towards someone said something or something you've seen or something. It's going to make you And the difference with the positive now is that you have to seek the positive. It's there, but you have to bring forth it and focus on it and, bring it into your life, kind of thing. So the more you do that, the more you can silence the negative and drown it out a little bit, because if you just let it be, it's not going to happen. So like I said, equally, there's a lot of positive out there, and that's what we want to try and to invite in our lives more often. It's positive side. But coming back to nurturing the inner side of you guys, it's about, we've really got to start protecting that sacred space. I said it's primarily about the mind, but it's also about the body as well. So when's the last time you actually sat down in total silence, no phone, no TV, no distraction, and just listen to the heartbeat? Just listen to your heartbeat. When's the last time you just sat down in silence and listened to your heartbeat? Very simple, but it's extremely powerful. When you listen to your heartbeat and you appreciate that sound and that beat and realize that without that, you wouldn't even exist. So simple. Without that simple beat, you wouldn't exist. And what are you doing specifically to nurture that, to protect that? What are you doing specifically to protect your heart? Nothing. Many of us ain't doing anything. We just take it for granted that we're alive, we breathe, and we wake up, we breathe. But what are you doing specifically to nurture that, protect that? And this is what I mean by just protecting that sacred space, that inner space, giving some TLC to you, giving some TLC to the part of you that really matters, the part of you that actually, this inner side of you is actually what creates a platform of which your outer can actually operate from. Without that peaceful platform, your outer can't perform at its best. It just can't do it. So we've got to find, what are we doing to protect that inner side? Even if you look at the current situation now, we're in this crisis of COVID. Everything still seems to be outward bound. I mean, the focus is on hands, face, space, and I get it. Wash your hands every 5 minutes for 30 seconds, wear masks, don't congregate more than sixes. And this helps to reduce the spread of the virus. It does. But what about the other things that the eye doesn't see? Where is the emphasis on rest, on getting adequate rest, making sure your body gets enough rest so it can perform proper, it's not run down? What about the emphasis on making sure you're eating the right foods? You're eating foods to protect that beat of your heart, to protect the vital organs in your body, making sure your body gets the right nutrition, the right food at the right times. What about the emphasis on that? What about the emphasis on exercising more, breathing, getting that fresh air, exercising, getting that body motion, functionable motion, moving, so your body's limber, your body's more able to move and, get that circulation around the body going. And then what about thinking healthy? So we're not overwhelmed by the negative thoughts and negative things that are coming, we're exposed to daily, that we're purposefully conditioning our minds to think positive, to think happy, to bring out the bright side, that it will infiltrate in the rest of our bodies and our whole being. What about the emphasis on these things? Because it's these things that are going to give us are going to give us an even more better chance of fighting off viruses and infections and these things when they come our way. It might not stop it, but it give us 100% more chance in fighting these things. Where's the emphasis on that? Like I said, the world is very so much outward bound, and it's time that we start giving some TLC to the inner side of us. Looking after the side of us that really matters, because this is what's going to last us for our days to come. I remember when I used to go to the gym, and it'll always be about pumping iron and looking big and blah. But as you get older, it's not about that. It's about your heart and your lungs. That's what's going to keep going. Your heart and your lungs. Once that fails, you're gone. You're finished. Even when I was professionally fighting, after round one, if he was tired, then I was in another gear. It was all about the cardio. A tired man was a dead man when I was fighting. He's finished once he's tired. He can have all the muscle in the world, but if his heart and his lungs can't keep going, then he's not going to be no use. And that's the same for us, guys. We need to start protecting that sacred space, coming back to the mind and the body, that holistic approach, because there's so many wealthy people out there, guys, so many wealthy people, but they are unhappy. And it's not because they're unhappy because they can't buy things, because they can buy what they want at the drop of the hat. They're unhappy because they don't have balance in their life. There is no balance. They've spent so much time focusing on finances, on wealth and career, that they forgot about their inner side. They forgot to nurture their mind. They forgot to nurture their soul, their inner side of them. There is no balance there. And then as they get older now, they've neglected even their health. So now they're spending lots of their wealth now rectifying their health and trying to get these things that money can't buy. Like peace of mind. It can't buy peace of mind. It can't buy positivity. You have to seek these things. You have to monitor these things and bring them and invite them into your life more and more. So it manifests into the whole of your being. You can't go and buy a positive mindset. You can't buy that. That's up to you to work it every day. People can give you the information, but if you don't use it, if you don't practically exercise it and use it, and put it in action, it's not going to work from you. And it's not just 1 day, 2 days. It's got to be part of you. You've got to be a positive person. You've got to stand guard at the gates of your mind. When you see negative stuff come into your mind, you've got to say, no, hold on. I'm in control. And then when you find yourself going down a negative spiral, you've got to, there's ways to stop it from going further down by just countering it. Think of something positive, double that positive, triple that positive thought. Keep putting positive thoughts in your mind so the positive starts to drown out the negative and not the other way around. So guys, today, I want you to do me a favor today. As you go about your day, I want you to start thinking about what ways can you start giving your inner self a bit more TLC than you're doing now. What can you do different to look after that sacred space, that inner side that people don't see of you, but that's going to keep you going, the side of you that people don't see. What can you do to nurture that side? So then, although they don't see it, but they will see it from the outer side of you. So, if that makes sense, they won't see that part of you doing it, but when they see the whole picture of you, that's when they're going to see, oh, that person looks bright. That person looks happy. That person just seems to be a type of person I want to gravitate towards. It's because you're protecting that inner space. It's because you've created that balance. So think about what could you do now? What could you start to incorporate in your life to give more TLC to yourself? Maybe it could be you introducing some yoga, or maybe you could start doing some meditation. Maybe it could be you want to start doing like walking for 5-minute, 10-minute walk around the block, just your time to stop and think. Or maybe you just want 5 minute absolute silence in the morning. Just sit down, absolute silence, and just listen to nothing, and then just listen to yourself. Or you could want to incorporate something. Maybe you want to start reading a book, like a positive book, for 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed. So your mind is saturated with something positive rather than sleeping with the last thing of social media on your mind. What is it you could do? Or maybe it's around the nutrition side, around the heart side. Maybe you want to add something to your diet that is healthy and cleansing for your heart. Or maybe you want to take out something. I know for me, I need to take out the chocolate buttons. For those who know me, I eat a lot of chocolate buttons, and that's something you've got to take it out. And it's okay. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up, but it's about being aware. Once you're aware of something, then you can do something about it. It's if I stopped and said, look, no, it's not a problem. I don't care. It's okay. I don't care. Then it's like this monster, this little baby is going to turn into a monster. I need to kill the monster while it's a baby instead of letting it turn into a giant, and that's why being aware of it. And the same thing goes for your inner self. What can you incorporate in your body or take out before this neglect starts to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and it grows out of hand and you no longer can do something about it? And that's what we want to start to protect, that inner space, look after it, nurture, because it's beautiful, guys. This is what's going to sustain you and keep you going. So guys, like I said, today, is really about what we can do to enhance our inner self at the side that people don't see. And I gave you a task, what ways you can improve your life and give yourself a little bit more TLC or take out or add to your life. Have a fantastic day. As always, I always say this world's amazing. You're amazing. And I also add, let the world see that part of you every day because it's out there. Peace. I'm out. Enough love. Love you guys.